Joining me on the show today, senior editor and analyst for Grind City Media, master media mogul of Memphis. It is the one and the only Mike Wallace. Mike, what's happening, man?
What's going on, brother? Good to be here, man.
Good to have you. Good to have you. How's your summer been so far? It's been a while since we checked in with you.
It has been, man. You know, it's. I'm not used to going this long without basketball. It seems like forever since the Grizzlies were done with the series in the first round, lost to Oklahoma City. But had a chance to recuperate a little bit, man. Got some rest, a little bit of vacation, and just resetting right now, man. And it's going into the draft and summer league and all of those things coming. So it's the calm before the storm.
Yeah, storm's definitely coming. I know you're going to enjoy Las Vegas. Does it almost feel better that the Grizzlies lost to the Oklahoma City Thunder when they're now in the finals?
I guess so, because you had a real direct view of what you need to do to knock this team off. They showed you exactly who they are, and it was a measuring stick, right? So when you look at it like that from the Grizzlies standpoint, what do you go into the offseason needing to correct and address? And, you know, again, Oklahoma City is just a juggernaut. They would have made a lot of teams look like that, but we got to see firsthand exactly what it takes to be a championship contender in the West.
For sure. Let's talk about what the championship is going to look like. Our big idea of today is the NBA Finals. They begin tonight, the Pacers in the East, the Thunder in the West. Two of the fastest-paced teams in the NBA and two teams that played each other on Christmas Day, actually, in a non-nationally televised game. What do you know about that? Led by tremendous point guards in Tyrese Halliburton and one Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
You know, we know that this is a great team, and I wouldn't want to, if we were to win a championship, I don't want to win any other way. I don't want to go around or go over. I want to go through. You want to go through the best team. You want to go through the best challenge. So this is the best challenge, and this is the best team in the NBA. It's been the best team in the NBA all year, and they're well coached. They just do everything so well. So there's no shortcuts to beating this team.
Staying true to who we are is the reason why we're here, and we'd be doing ourselves a disservice if we changed or try to be something we're not. Once we got here, we've had success doing so, and if we want to keep having success, we have to be who we are. And it's organic, so it's nothing like we have to think about or force. It just is who we are, no matter the moment.
Mike, when I was on your show yesterday, Grizz Beat with the one and only Jarvis Greer, you had the Grizzlies. You had the Thunder in 7, while I had the Thunder in 6. Why do you think this is going to be a long series?
I think it's going to be a long series because I think people aren't giving the Indiana Pacers the benefit of the doubt that they deserve. They're a team that does not turn the ball over, relatively speaking. They like to take their first shots. They like to get to their pace. Those are things that Oklahoma City want you to do. They want to rush you. They want to speed you up and make you uncomfortable. Most teams aren't comfortable taking the first early look in the shot clock. The Pacers want the first early look in the shot clock. They're a team that loves to run off of makes. So even when the ball goes through the basket for Oklahoma City, Indiana's taking it out and going the other way very, very quickly. So those things, if they can get to that offense, get to that pace, protect the basketball, they can do some things that will make this series interesting. They will make each one of the games more compelling than a lot of people are giving them credit for. Now, I'm picking 7 because I want it to be 7. I want to see more basketball. I never want the NBA season to end. But more realistically, I can understand why people are seeing Oklahoma City in 5 or 6 in this one.
I think I got to agree with you. I think when you look at these two teams, I think pace has been the Pacers, no pun intended, has been their biggest strength. And I just don't think that Oklahoma City is going to allow it to be as big of a strength as it has been in the last 3 series. What I do think with the Indiana Pacers is they've been really good in game ones thus far, and they've had all their game ones on the road, and they've beaten all these really good teams on the road in those game ones. So I think if they can steal one, I can certainly see it being realistic for a 7-game series. I don't know that I think it's going to get to 7 games. I'm kind of with you on that one. I think we're all kind of hoping it'll be a long series. So I think this is going to be a fun series to watch in terms of just the pace of the play, just the up and downness, and the two phenomenal point guards that we watch. I do wonder if the Pacers are going to have the personnel to really make SGA uncomfortable. I think he averaged like 39 points a game over the 2 games that they played in the regular season. And at the same time, the Oklahoma City Thunder did a great job of making Tyrese Halliburton uncomfortable. He only put up 11 points a game in that series. And I think Tyrese has to be not just better than SGA in this series, but I think better by a considerable margin. I just don't know if that's going to be the case.
But see, I don't think those two matchups are going to be, directly related. I don't think they're going to offset each other, and I think that's fine. I don't even think they're going to be defending one another. There's cross matches that are going to happen.
Right.
There's a lot of switches that both teams love to do. I think what's going to be important for Halliburton is that he continues to push the basketball, that he continues to embrace the double teams. They're going to try to pick him up full court.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen. They're going to try to bump him and be physical with him. He has to absorb that contact, get to the free throw line, and be steady as a free throw shooter. Even when Indiana is going to be disrupted, they have to have a secondary ball handler. So if you're going to put 2 on Halliburton, take the ball out of his hands, the secondary ball handler for Indiana has to be ready to make plays. Pascal Siakam is a guy that can do that. Nembhard is a guy that can do that. Ben Shepherd is a guy that can do that. You have McConnell is another guy that's not afraid to do that. So you have multiple guys that can handle the basketball and be comfortable. Even Miles Turner, for a 7-footer, is comfortable handling the ball out on the perimeter. So I think that's going to be key right there. Indiana is suited to at least give themselves a chance to offset what Oklahoma City does. Now, doing it is a different matter, right? Like Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they take that first shot, right? Now, if you take that first shot and you show some resilience, then you're right there. And one thing Indiana has shown in round 1, 2, and 3 is that they're a resilient team.
And they've been really good about guarding these really fantastic guards as well. You talk about guarding Donovan Mitchell, although Donovan Mitchell did get off a couple of times in that Pacers series, but they were, I think, in the bigger scheme of things, they were able to contain him. I feel like they did a decent job against Jalen Brunson, and almost in the sense that if you're going to get yours, but everybody else is not going to beat us, kind of thing. I think that's kind of the approach they've taken. I don't know if they can do that with the Thunder because I think the surrounding cast is so good, especially with a Jalen Williams. But I think it'll be interesting to see how these two teams kind of play each other and what weakness they perceive that the other one has and how they try to exploit that. What do you think this says about just the small marketness of this with two teams? I mean, you're talking about the Oklahoma City Thunder and Indianapolis, which I don't really think of Indy as a small market team, but I guess in the grander scheme of things, maybe it is. But I mean, Indianapolis has a lot going on when it comes to sports. They do. They have a lot going on when it comes to sports. Obviously, you have the Indy 500, you have the Indianapolis Colts, right? I mean, you have two other major entities that are in that city. Oklahoma City, that's the only game in town outside of the colleges, right? When you talk about OU and Oklahoma State. What it says about small markets is that it doesn't matter where you have to play. There is a pathway to getting to the NBA Finals. It also reminds you that, look, not everybody has to want to be on the East Coast, in Miami, in New York, in LA, or somewhere like that, right? To the Midwest. And what it does is that it reminds you that there's still a quality fan base, there's support. People, kind of disparage Oklahoma City's fans being corny, wearing the T-shirts and all that kind of stuff. We have growl towels, bro. Yeah, it's different. Right, can't say nothing about it. Right. And then with Indiana, they're a conservative fan base, and you hear all sort of things. But the bottom line is that those fans support that team, those teams, and they understand how to appreciate a team that fights. And it's not about the drama and all the glitz and glamour. You never hear about supermax issues. You never hear about stars being in issues off the court and off the field for the most part. And they're wholesome communities that embrace what's going on right now. So all this talk about ratings and relevance, push that aside. You got two franchises that are proud, that are pursuing rings, and they've done it the right way. I think that relates pretty much directly to my next question with what do the Grizzlies learn from these two teams being in the finals? Two that I think style-wise probably they match up with, or they play similar to. Similar to, absolutely. I mean, when you look at Oklahoma City, they're more defensively dynamic and dominant. Indiana's more offensively dynamic and dominant. And if you're the Grizzlies, you want to take pieces from both of these teams. But what it starts with is a clear pecking order of who your superstar is, who your role players are, and who your supporting cast beyond that is. And I think both of those teams clearly define what their leadership structure is. I think Memphis is still trying to figure that out. Obviously, Ja Morant is a superstar in this league in terms of his elevation of his brand. But has he done it consistently by being available? No, there's still some questions there. Is Jaren Jackson Jr. an elite player? We know he's really, really good. 7 years in, it's time to take the next step to be all-NBA and elite. We know Oklahoma City has all-NBA players there in Jalen Williams and, some of these other guys. Pascal Siakam is an NBA champion who's already done it. And then the role players after that. The Grizzlies are still trying to figure out
which among these young guys are going to be reliable? Those two teams know who their young guys are, their secondary guys are. And I think it's just an identity situation that separates the Grizzlies from those two teams right now.
Small market teams stand up. Hopefully we're looking at a Grizzlies in an NBA Finals, or at least a deep playoff run here in the next year or two. We're gonna